Now, this prediction you guys might not think means much of anything, but yeah, you'd be mistaken. Cinema is art, and art changes society, little by little or in straight up waves. Now, there's two videos on my TUBI free YouTube page. One talks about ethnic supremacy and how it causes the exact problem of societal division and racism. Then there's another video, my very last video on that page, and I predicted that things would get quote unquote super black. Now, all of the images I place in every single one of my videos are picked for a reason. I'm giving you audio and visual clues. Commercials do it all the time. I'm trying to get your attention. So I showed you a screenshot of YouTube Black, meaning that you were going to see more black folks in entertainment. Since that moment in time, maybe 2020 or 2021, there's way more diversity in cinema and television shows in general. Black actors have been pushing for this for generations, and now it's here. Things are getting super black, just like I said that they would. And you're starting to get backlash, because even though so-called white liberals helped to make this diversity happen, they didn't want to see so much of it. You know what I'm saying? Or let's put it like this, kind of harshly. There's too many niggas on TV and it's pissing off some white folks, a large portion of them. Now, there are many YouTube creators who complained about this, but it's the YouTubers who have huge platforms that have the most influence. YouTubers like Nerdrotic and The Critical Drinker and Doomcock, etc. At first, they came across as being upset that their historically quote-unquote white characters are switched to quote-unquote black. That, I agree, that shouldn't happen. But eventually, the real truth came out. This diversity push is keeping white people, males in particular, from getting roles. That's what they actually said. Now, remember folks, to be human is to be a hypocrite from time to time. I've said this in videos, don't run from it. To grow is to change your stance. That's just how it is. But I would be remiss, even cooning, if I didn't bring up the fact that black culture had to endure whitewashing of literal American history. Fuck cinema. Real African American heroes were omitted or whitewashed from history books. Black history is American history, after all. White historians said, my bad, but those were the times. Remember when white folks played Native Americans in Westerns? That shit was comical, but not if you're a Native American. Gods of Egypt, remember that movie? With so-called whites playing Egyptians. So now that there's more diversity, meaning other ethnicities get a better chance at a role, and yes, even have an advantage because of their skin color, a large portion of white America thinks that's fucked up. Now I agree, it is. Two wrongs don't make a right, folks. It should be equal chance despite your skin color. Remember, content of character and not the color of their skin. That is the dream of MLK, baby. In a perfect world, the character role in the movie should go to the actor best suited. But that's not how it works. Not in the past when whites dominated cinema, and not now when diversity is the new thing. Sidebar, why do they insist on casting straight African American males in gay roles? I mean, why not use actual gay men? A gay man would crush a gay role. He could go all out on that bitch. But then again, the fact that these hetero men are auditioning for these roles speaks a bit of their character and possibly sexuality. Maybe films like Brokeback Mountain and Holiday Heart are actually starring actors that personally want to explore their own sexuality on screen, to see if it works for them in their personal lives perhaps. This way they can say that they finally kissed a man intimately for the art. Yeah, for the art, buddy. I'm digressing. More diversity now. More black cinema now. More white roles being switched to black now. More white YouTubers complaining about it now. The future of this, I predict, is further backlash and an eventual harsher racial divide in regards to cinema. You see, with one part of white America and black pushing diversity through DEI, which is sort of a new mandate of diversity, equality, and inclusion, a large portion a white America is simply pushing back against that. These white Americans are going to support certain films, their films, starring people that look like them. And they're going to support these things with their money. You're already seeing it with the Disney backlash. I mean, Disney wanted to push gay and trans acceptance on predominantly heterosexual Americans. As a futurist, if I was consulted by Disney, I would have told them to expect pushback and expect to lose a lot of money. That future was easy to see. Meanwhile, the future of this forcibly diverse cinema will be exactly what it has already been. You're going to see more so-called black cinema being only supported by so-called black people. And Gary Owen, probably he'll be there checking out black shit. Meanwhile, the so-called whites, even the liberals who push for diversity, will continue to outwardly speak for diversity, but will quietly support their white movies with their money. And the ticket sales are going to reflect this. They're not going to be able to hide what is really going on. Remember when blacks would say, quote, "I just wanted to see someone like me in a movie." Well, that's the way these white folks are feeling. I mean, this is some ironic shit, right? We're all hypocrites at different times of our lives. It's human. The future. Black movies and streaming cinema will be a niche, a subdivision of cinema, just like they always were. Nothing changed. The only thing that forced diversity and DEI have done is make the gatekeepers, your Paramounts, your Sony, and all of the others, it's made those gatekeepers aware that black independent films are moneymakers for streaming platforms. Now that's important. It lets the studios see that a selection of these actors and directors can be future stars, aka moneymakers for the entertainment machine. But black cinema and black channels, that's not diversity at all. That's just black for black. What's the difference if it's white for white? We had that in cinema for generations, white for white. And now, since blacks have their cinema and studio options, white Hollywood or producers will say, quote, "Blacks have opportunities. Why are they complaining?" And the black people will say, "But we need representation in your films, white America." And the white people will say, "But why? You Negroes have TUBI." Congrats, you're still divided, America. However, the sponsors are happy because more shows give them more opportunities to attach their brands. The real answer to diversity was to stop putting movies as black cinema. You separate yourselves from a wider audience. By all means, tell your stories. But in the end, it's a movie with a predominantly black cast. That's the way the script was written, then so be it. If you're honest to the craft and the source material / script, then there is the real quote unquote representation. Apologize for nothing. Cater to no one. Intention is what matters to art, and cinema is art. But why pigeonhole yourself? If I were a director, I would say I'm a director of films. If I said I'm a director of black films, then I just lost a lot of opportunities to grow as a filmmaker with different actors of different ethnicities. And of course, I lost a ton of money. When you call your movies black cinema, that's all it is. You segregate your art. Y'all forgot how BET was the best thing since hip hop at one time, until black folks started shitting on it. Stop catering to one demographic. YouTube Black was a trap. You were better off putting your movie on your own website and making it downloadable. And speaking of which, here's some free game. TUBI is owned by Fox. TUBI has a lot of black cinema. They made $900 million off of this cinema so far. This is how you can use racism to make money, by the way. This is how you can use discrimination to make money. I did a video on this. Divide them and turn them against each other and profit from the war. And black cinema is profitable. Even the cheesy movies with that terrible acting that my wife and daughter watch. But at its core, TUBI is a streaming service that's paid for with ad revenue. It goes like this. The independent movie creators are paid much to nothing. Seriously, it's just about getting seen on a large platform. The platform, however, makes the money from the ad companies that want to get on the boat. If you're someone with some cash floating around, you can make a website that's about $30 to do and $100 a year to maintain and showcase any independent companies and movies that can't get on TUBI. You're going to have to invest in getting an app created. That's about $4,000 to $10,000, but totally worth it. And get with an advertising agency that can connect you with businesses that would want to advertise on your website/streaming service, because that's all these streaming channels are. Websites that stream content. That's it. Remember when Andrew Schultz, I think that's the comedian's name, remember when he streamed his comedy special on his website? There you go. Remember Kevin Hart and his Laugh Out Loud network? I remember when that was just Kevin Hart and his videos. He added more content to his website. That's all he did. And he hosted content and got paid for it. You can be the next TUBI. I make it sound easy because the shit ain't hard, folks. That's why there's so many streaming services. But you need content. Creators are still the shit. The industry is nothing without us. Absolutely nothing. Speaking of which, Isis Omega. Check out the graphic novel that will one day, I'm sure, be a movie. If they stick to the source material, it'll be a real good one. You can download the first volume for free on tyrmobile.com for cell phones only, or tyrfreeman.com for laptops and PCs. Take it light, people.